The souls of 1,000 miners lay trapped beneath the earth and far down these mine shafts. The souls of 1,000 miners, they laugh at us and our machines and our modern mechanical marvels. The souls of 1,000 miners think that they have a great advantage over us. The souls of 1,000 miners are buried far, far below. As deep, some say, as the bowels of hell itself. The souls of 1,000 miners forget one thing. I was born in the mountain.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Cerro Gordo. This is video number 2 in our series of however many videos we end up doing up here. Now, I gotta tell you real quick, if you liked that sexy intro that just happened, and that you just chilled you right to your bones, you can thank that man right there. You guys wanted more jacks, so we are giving you more jacks. Obviously, you loved him in the video where we went down and recovered the big case excavators. And so, not only is he a great truck driver, but he also happens to be a man of many voice talents. I guess that many miles on the road gives you a lot of time to practice.
Oh yeah, so much windshield time.
Yeah, that intro that was bone chilling. It was beautiful.
Yes.
So guys, obviously we're back here, and we're about to show you all the chaos that goes into pouring concrete at an old ghost town at 9,000 feet elevation.
Life on the road's pretty crazy. Get to go to some cool places, like Cerro Gordo, and explore the mine. But it doesn't mean the world back home quits turning. I still gotta take care of all my banking, my taxes, my house payments, via the internet. And the internet is a scary place, my friends. Hackers, scammers, your cookies are vulnerable to the world. But you know what? Not anymore. Thanks to Surfshark VPN, they can protect all your sensitive information. They can put up a shield to protect you from the hackers, the scammers. Keep your cookies safe. Don't you want to keep your cookies safe? I thought so. Well, guess what? All you got to do is download Surfshark VPN. Click the button, you're in. And use promo code SPARKS, and you get 83% off. Plus 3 months for free. And you want to know what my favorite part about Surfshark VPN is? I could be traveling the world with my family. If my kids need to watch a show and I can't access it where I am, all I gotta do is log on to Surfshark VPN, change my location, bada bing, bada boom, we're back in business. So I recommend maybe you put up that shield if you're gonna use the internet. Stay safe out there, my friends, and keep exploring.
So guys, one thing that I mentioned before, obviously in some of these videos where there's so many moving parts and we're all over the place, it's really hard to kind of narrate in the moment what's happening. And I personally hate watching videos where there's no storyline, you don't know what's going on, even if it's just a simple like excavator recovery video. I want to know what the process is. So basically, you're not going to see a ton of narration along the way. You see some selfie videos here and there. We're kind of telling you what's going on, but we're going to again use this interview format because it's really helpful to be able to kind of thread all this footage together. Because otherwise, guys, it would just be a jumbled mess of cool footage, but nobody really knows what's going on. So again, we're not trying to be a TV show. Been there, done that.
But we learned something good from the TV show.
Yeah, we're taking all the elements of good things we've learned in storytelling from TV and other things we've done and bringing them right here to you.
Thank you, Eric Duncan. Thank you.
There you go. Nice. On that note, obviously narrating what's going on, we're currently at Cerro Gordo, telling you how we got to Cerro Gordo. So it's a little bit like a Back to the Future type thing going on here.
It was a twisted road, literally.
Yeah.
It was a twisted road.
A little bit of Inception here. Basically, our biggest challenge is we're figuring out how to get the right equipment down to Cerro Gordo to be able to obviously do the work that we needed to down there, and also without having to take 10 semi-loads worth of different stuff. So we had to grab the vehicles with the highest capabilities for the job, but also some of these vehicles are so specific, like the cement mixer. That thing, like 100% has to be down there, but it takes up a full semi-trailer. So the other option would be to take all the bags of concrete and the water and haul them up separately and then mix them on site in the mixer truck. I like that option simply because it keeps the mixer truck from having to do any unnecessary work. Since that's the most vital part of this whole thing. If it's not functioning, we're dead in the water. Also, there's this big debate about concrete and cement.
Yeah. Is it a concrete truck or a cement truck?
We've been calling it a little bit of both, and apparently there's just people that get real hot and bothered about.
Yeah, there's this whole culture in the sea world.
Yeah.
Now, if a concrete group and a cement group met together and they had a battle, who would win?
Have you seen the gang fights on Anchorman?
Oh.
Yeah. Very similar to those. I think.
Do you think who would win? Do you think?
I'm not going to pick sides right now.
I'm gonna, based on the people that told me concrete, I'm putting my money on concrete. That's just me.
I'm going to call it mud to just kind of not get involved
Muddy
in
the
that.
waters.
Yeah, I don't want to.
Yeah.
Basically, the most critical vehicles to have down there, cement mixer truck. Also, we got to be able to have transport vehicles get up and down the canyon, and trailers are not going to cut it. So we're going to take 2 military 5-tons. These are cargo trucks designed for hauling cargo in nasty situations. And you guys have seen these trucks. We've taken them out to the island. We've had them all over the place. These trucks just flat out work. They work really well. But they're also not like that great to drive on the freeway. So we're going to transport them down there on your flatbed.
Yep.
Nice.
So Dave calls me up, a couple weeks ago, and he's like, "Hey, we want to get you back. We want to come back. We've got another adventure." And I'm thinking it can't get a whole lot more adventurous than what we did down in St. George.
Yeah, that's where you're
Surprise.
Yeah, I was so wrong. He's like, "Hey, you need to look up Cerro Gordo." And when you were like, "No, we're not taking the semis up there," I was like, "Oh, come on, like seriously?" Now that I've come up, I'm like, "Yep, no, we're not taking the semis. We're not taking the semis."
A semi up this road is just asking for a broken semi or a stuck semi.
I mean, immediately within
Yeah.
the 3rd, 4th mile up, you're like, "Oh, first corner, nope, not happening."
Yeah, there's turns that the trucks just flat out won't make. So obviously, truck number 1, Kenworth, pulling the lowboy that has the mixer truck on it. Truck number 2 is the old Sweet Pete,
Sweet
pulling
Pete.
a 48-foot flatbed, and that's got 2 5-ton cargo trucks. Now, in the bed of those cargo trucks, we're putting water totes, we're putting tools, supplies, anything that we can fit in there that we need to haul to be able to avoid having to take extra vehicles.
So Heavy D does all the measurements, and he's like, "I think we're gonna have like 6 inches on this end and 6 inches on this end." This is where the cab overs just shine, because the cab overs have little cab, lots of frame. So those trucks on there, they can hang way over the front without hitting the sleeper.
Nice.
So this was a specific cab over.
Couldn't have done it without you.
Yeah.
So that's taking us to vehicle number 3, which is going to be my F550 flatbed hauling a gooseneck trailer. Now, on the trailer, we're going to have 2 Polaris 4-wheelers, the Sportsman and the Scrambler. Then we're going to have my Polaris Ranger, which you guys see in all of our videos. That's like the ultimate support vehicle. Then we're going to put a Bobcat skid loader on there. And then we're going to have fuel tanks, tools, all sorts of other, just anything that we can fit on there that we might possibly need, we're going to put on that trailer. And then vehicle number 4, last but definitely not least, is my new motorhome.
Yeah, why not throw in a $250,000 brand new rig?
Yeah.
Why not?
And because here's the deal. There's places to stay at Cerro Gordo. There's bunkhouses and stuff. But having this motorhome, which I'm obviously very excited about. This is like my second trip in it. Having it around, having food in there, having the AC running, having a nice place to sleep and shower, it's just handy. So we decided to bring it.
This is what happens this trip. Jax, the truck driver, he deletes Dave's number. Alec finds his real dad. I, too, delete Dave's phone number. Rob
gets lost in the desert.
Gets lost in the desert.
Ends up with 3rd-degree sunburns.
Sunburns all over. Places that you wouldn't expect. Diesel Dave ends up finding a long-lost brother, moves in with him, and lives in a dirt hut for the rest of his life. Who else is going? Davis ends up realizing that he wants to be a mechanic, not a videographer, and then he never picks up a camera again. Let's see, who else? Hunter realizes this kid that lives here is his brother and ends up staying there and never comes back. Jackknife Jim just never shows up. Oh, Bud
Can't forget about
Bud obviously ends up somehow towing everything back on one trailer.
Hell no.
Brent, who's Brent?
Brent, the guy who owns the place.
Oh, Brent. Brent just goes back to his nice house and takes a good sleep, and yeah, just he's the only one that comes out on top.
So, I think reviewing everything over and just processing in our head, I think it's gonna end up being one of those deals that you get there and you're like, and you do it, and it's either gonna be like, hey, this all worked actually really well, or it's just gonna be 1,000% disaster, just one thing after another after another. I don't think there's gonna be any middle ground. I think it's gonna shock us one way or the other.
I don't know what we're doing to begin with, so.
You have no idea?
Something about a concrete truck and.
Thank you! What's up, my man?
That right there.
Yeah. Now there's only one little stipulation I gotta tell you about. Now I'm kind of cheap, and when they sell these, you get a free fill up. You know, like you buy them, you get a free fill up. So I did christen them both because I wasn't gonna be like, so I filled them both up. Hey, Diesel Dave got his first mugging.
Yeah!
And guess what happened when he went in there? What happened?
Magical. The lady said, hey, honey, free for you. And I said, free? I've never got a free drink from a gas station in my life. And I walk in with this magical mug. Free for you, honey.
Free for you, honey. So it gets you, not only is it free, you get to be called honey.
Yeah, you get to be honey.
Like it doesn't get any better
I don't
than
know
that.
what's better, the free drink or the honey. I think it's the honey.
The longer you're on the road, the more you appreciate the honey than anything.
Hello everybody, I'm Chris Harrison, and this is the Bearded Bachelor. These fine young men behind me have come here today in search of love, but more than that, they've come here in search of truth, happiness, and joy. All right guys, listen. So guys, we're all loaded up. We're headed out. We got about a 9-hour drive ahead of us to get to Cerro Gordo. And as you can see behind me, we've got the F550, and it has Bobcat skid loader. It's got 2 Polaris 4-wheelers. It's got a Polaris Ranger. It's got a bunch of fuel and tools. It's got a couple of Furman generators. Then we have my Kenworth, which has the cement truck on it. Now we'll show you here in a little bit, a little flashback of how we got that cement truck, where we got it, and what we had to do to get it ready to go. Then we have the Sweet Pete over there, which has, not gonna lie, probably one of the best looking loads I've ever seen on it. And then we have the support vehicle, which is new to the fleet, which is the Dynamax Toter Home. We're gonna be sleeping cool and comfortable. So guys, here's the deal. We're gonna head out to the base of the Cerro Gordo right now. Should be getting there sometime in the middle of the night. Around 8 or 9 a.m. we're gonna be meeting up with another fleet of trucks that's gonna be coming in, carrying a track hoe, a loader, and then we're gonna meet up with a water truck, and then we're gonna meet up with all the materials and supplies, and then Brent at the base of the hill, and make a plan on how to get everything up the hill. So this is the beginning of what is going to be, no doubt, a very, very wild journey, including TNT. including lots of horsepower, lots of fuel being burnt, lots of cement being mixed, and lots of beautiful eligible bachelors looking for true love.
Looking for what?
I'm looking for the next
True beer,
fuel
true
station
love.
to fill up to 550.
All right, guys, it's about 2 a.m. We just stopped at the truck stop here in Tonopah, Nevada. I'm driving for about 7 hours, and I've been pretty much going straight through. I was only about half a tank fueled down, but I did stop and top off. Everybody else is way behind us. I think the F550 is burning a lot more fuel than anybody expected, but I think what we're gonna do is go ahead and probably hunker down here for the next 3-4 hours. Hey, look at this. Making first use of the motor, well, not first use because I just took it camping with my family over the weekend, but first time we've had all the dudes in here. Now the reason why I wanted this specific motorhome because it's the bunkhouse model. Bunk bed's right there. It's got a bed right here.
Go to sleep.
Hold on, let me finish the tour of cribs.
Can I stand up real fast?
You got the sofa bed, and you got the cab over bunk. I think we've got 6 dudes sleeping here tonight, so.
You got your hunchback.
You gotta not pose like that. Make me uncomfortable.
Hey, vlog.
Anyway, so this is a home sweet home for the night here in Tonopah, Nevada, until there's a lot of signs that said no RVs in this parking lot, so it's probably 5 a.m., 6 a.m. someone's gonna come knocking, telling us to get the hell out of here, but until then, we're gonna get some sleep. Remember, the driver's seat's up there, right? Yeah. This kid is sitting right here. I make a sharp turn in the parking lot, and I hear some rumbling back here, so I look back, and right as I look back, this guy goes, ooh, head first, right into the side of the sofa, does the, pops the seal, shoots from here,
From there, right into your eyeball?
right to my eye.
That's pretty impressive.
Filled my eye with soap. I literally, there was like 3 other drops around the seat, and that was it.
That hands over there?
Sing along.
It wasn't your voice?
No, actually it was. I'm gonna take it. I'll take credit. I had the full.
That had to be you. So, we all got some sleep. Obviously, you can tell by our faces it wasn't a lot of sleep. Jax looks refreshed.
I'm pretty fresh, but I'm conditioned to this.
This is life on the road for you. This is just another day in the life. For us, I'm used to like a nice solid 9-10 hours of sleep. So here we go. 3 hours out from Cerro Gordo. So go on the road, see what happens. So pull the toter home in. I'll pile all the guys in. You jump in your cab over, and we get what little sleep we can. I think it's what, 3-4 hours. Yeah. And then we're on the road again, 7 a.m. So Cerro Gordo from Tonopah should have only been roughly a 3-hour trip. Somehow, some way, my GPS on my phone switched over from Google Maps to Apple Maps. I don't know if you guys ever had this issue, but for some reason Apple Maps was like, no, you guys should go this way. And I didn't pay attention and didn't realize it had changed the route on us until it was way too late. So instead of going over into California and then down, like nice, truck interstate, like nice roads, it took us into Death Valley National Park. Oh boy. Well, we ended up taking the scenic route and was not intentional. The old Apple Maps trick got me. I wasn't paying attention to the GPS, missed one turn, and by the time we realized what route it was taking us on. It was way too long to go back the other way. So we're currently in the middle of Death Valley, and Death Valley is exactly what you would think it is. It's hot. It's got to be 110, 115 degrees right now. Trucks are surprisingly still running pretty cool, but that's because we've been going downhill. Once we start making a climb, we'll see how they do. Currently we're at negative 60 feet in elevation. So that's 60 feet below sea level. And we still have a ways to drop. We're about to go through the lowest point in the continental US. I think it's a couple hundred feet below sea level. But guys, this place is nuts. If you ever get a chance to come through Death Valley, check it out. Like, I can barely breathe. This air is so hot. One issue is that trucks aren't necessarily allowed in here unless they're local trucks, which technically we're kind of considered local because we're going to a local spot. The ghost town is just up on that hill there. But man, we definitely took the creative route. And by the time we realized that we were entering Death Valley National Park, it would have been probably a 3-hour detour to go back the right way. But the kicker is, as we're starting to enter this road into the desert wasteland, we're seeing signs that say,
Don't go in there.
semi-trucks not allowed, trucks prohibited. And so I'm like, Jax, what do you want to do? And he's like, well, sometimes those are just suggestions. And I'm like, all right, well, let's go for it.
So I'm right behind Jax right here. And we're driving about 15 to 18 miles per hour. And he's got the door open on his cab over right now. My best guess is that the truck is running on the hot side and that he can't afford to go any faster, otherwise he's gonna start overheating. But you can see he's got the driver's door open right now, so I'm guessing that he and Dave are getting a little toasty inside that cab over.
See, back in the old days, this was normal business for the old timers, for the old crazy boys. Pulling these big hills in the desert, hot, you'd shut your AC off. We have doors open, shirts off, pants off, windows down, just rolling. Another day on the job. This is how you climb out of Death Valley when you're trying to keep your truck from getting too hot.
Going into Death Valley, I had no. I mean, I knew it was gonna be hot, obviously.
Yeah.
But what I don't quote my numbers; they're probably a little skewed. But I think it was 13 miles at 8% up. Mm-hmm. Same going down into the valley.
The crazy thing about Death Valley is once you start going into Death Valley, it actually feels like you're going into Death Valley. It's just this straight road that drops from like 6,000 feet elevation down to negative below sea level. And it's just this long, steady grade. And it's a national park. It's like it's designed for like Subarus and Toyotas, not giant semi trucks. Yeah. And as we're descending into the heart of the beast, it's just getting hotter.
You can just feel it coming through.
Yeah, literally. Like it got to the point where I think when we stopped at the bottom, we were like negative 70 feet below sea level. I think it was like 115, 120 degrees down there. We stopped, and these guys are nowhere in sight. We're in the Kenworth.
Now, in our defense, you've turned out to be a real good co-pilot.
Thanks, man. Thanks. You guys are really bro, man.
But here's the thing: technology has come a long ways since 1989 versus the Kenworth Beastmaster. Mm-hmm. And so, I mean, everything. My drive shafts are like the size of my arm. His drive shafts are like the size of his arms. That's the difference. I mean, the cooling systems, there's just this whole world of difference. So me and Diesel Dave are like we're like in 4th, 5th gear, you know, 7, 8 miles an hour. But hey, that old Caterpillar never got a breath over 210, not the whole time. There was a moment where we shut the AC off and we opened both of our doors and we kind of hung our feet out.
But that was just to look sweet.
Listen, driving that load through Death Valley is the hardest I've pushed any vehicle ever. Like I've never tested any vehicle or machine's limits as hard as I did that, because we're 80,000 pounds straight up this long grade. It's 110, 115 degrees outside and just hammered down. And
he was hammered down. That's
my truck did probably
60,
25 miles an hour the whole way, roughly, with those steep grades. You guys were about half that.
Yeah.
But luckily, neither one of the trucks overheated, because this is the deal. If the truck overheats in Death Valley, we're done.
Back down.
Like, it's going to be a multi-day affair trying to get that thing out of there.
See, and that was the thing. I mean, we teased about going slow and stuff.
Right.
But I've got the Army trucks on. If we break down,
Right.
you got to go unload your stuff, come all the way back, grab my trailer.
Mm-hmm. And we're already
I got to figure out what to do with my truck.
Yeah.
You got one shot to do this right.
Yep.
That's it. It's a one and done.
The trip through Death Valley on GPS said it was only going to take an hour and a half. Ended up taking probably close to 4 hours.
There was a couple points where I almost jumped out and did a lap around the truck and jumped
You
back
could have.
in.
I was like, hey, can you go check my tires real quick?
Yeah.
It was brutal. Driving through Death Valley was a huge mistake, but it was an experience. Looks like we're going to roll into the base of Cerro Gordo, the bottom of the hill, about noon. And I have got people there that are meeting us there because they're planning on us being here. So here's something that's like just super cool, guys. A little while ago, a few weeks ago, I got an email from a guy named Harmon. He runs a big trucking company here in California, Yuba City, H&S Heavy Haul. And he said, hey, have you ever got any loads in California? Hit me up, let me know. I'd just love to help you guys out, and we'll just come haul with you guys for free. So I was like, okay, cool. So this trip came together, and I sent him a text. I was like, hey, man, we're doing this trip. I need to move some equipment. And he's like, I got you covered. So I'm like, all right, can you move this tractor from this location to that location? He's like, I got one better. I will bring you a loader and a track hoe, like big machines. Don't worry about it. I'll cover it. I'll handle it. I'll have them delivered to the base of the hill 7 a.m. on Tuesday. I was like, oh, man, this guy's awesome. Sure enough, they're here. We roll in, obviously super late. Harmon, his whole crew are here literally waiting for us, ready to unload and get these machines. These are going to be the first piece of equipment that we take up the canyon, obviously, because we're going to use them to kind of support all the other vehicles. So big Cat 329 and a Cat 950 loader. And they obviously can't take their trucks up the canyon very far. So they did want to take them up a little bit of the way. So I think they trucked them up roughly 3 miles until the first big sharp turn. And that's where we unloaded the machines. And then from there, I put Hunter in the track hoe, and he's got to walk another 5-6 miles up the canyon in the track hoe. Be a long walk, probably 3 hours. And then there'll be the loader on the side of the road. And then we go back down to the staging area. These guys roll in, and we start figuring out, like, at this point, it's just a logistical explosion. We have parts, pieces, dudes, trucks, just going every which way because we're trying to figure out how to get unloaded and get everything situated so we can get it up to the top of the hill. And on top of that, we're trying to figure out how to load water in our containers to get it up to the top of the hill with us as well. So that day down in this afternoon down in the parking lot at Keeler was probably one of the longest, hardest days of my life.
Man, I won't lie to you. This is one of the most logistically challenging things I've ever done in my entire life. Being hundreds of miles away from my shop, my home, all my equipment, my tools, and only having what we remembered to bring. Oh man, no problems yet, but I'm telling you, it's just like, you forget one little thing and it's like, town is 50 miles that way and it's a trip to get in there and out. So it's like when you start unloading and get everything ready, you hope you have everything you need. So right now we're just gonna get everything unloaded and staged to get ready to start moving stuff up the hill this afternoon and tomorrow morning. But it's like 110 degrees out here. We only got like 2 hours of sleep last night. It's been a long day. It's only like 2 p.m. right now, so it's gonna be a long Tuesday.
So unloading down in Keeler, we get the mixer truck off the trailer. We get the 5 tons. We did the slickest move ever.
That was slick.
There's no loading ramp here, no loading dock, and obviously that's how you don't have ramps for trucks that big for the back of the trailer. So Jax says to me, he's like, "Hey, I'm thinking maybe we'll use the lowboy to unload the 5 tons." Genius. Back up his trailer to the lowboy back to back, and it just made this perfect little step down ramp. Unloaded the 5 tons. easier than if we would have had ramps.
Yeah, they
like
really
just
were.
as easy as a loading ramp, if not, or loading dock, if not easier. And so now we're figuring out which trucks need to go up the canyon tonight, and what's going to stay down here at the parking lot. So we figured out that all the water totes we brought, I think 5 or 6 of them, we're going to fill those on the bed of 1 5-ton right there, because there's a big 2-inch water line, and there's no water up at Cerro Gordo, remember? We got to truck it with all with us. So we fill up all those totes, roughly 1,500 gallons on 1 5-ton, and then we fill up the mixer truck. So guys, real quick, I'm going to just kind of explain to you how the cement truck went down. This Kilgore Construction, a company out of Utah, let us know that they had a truck we could buy from them, but it had a cracked frame, and so they weren't using it anymore. So in order to be able to use it, we would have to fix the frame. Went down, took a look at it. Sure enough, frame is very cracked all the way through, but I don't think it's beyond repair. So bought it, bring it back to the shop, had Morgizi start working on it, and what we ended up doing was double or triple bracing the frame. So we fixed the crack and then we put plates over them, just like kept on stacking plates on there. That frame is stronger than it's ever been, and it's not going anywhere. So we fixed that, did a full tune-up on it, oil change, fluids, all that kind of stuff. We also threw an exhaust brake on it, a back brake, because we know that truck's gonna be going up and down the hill, and we need as much engine braking as possible. So other than that, truck's pretty much dialed, ready to go, and we're gonna go pour some concrete with it. After like moving all these vehicles and equipment around, we're finally ready to convoy up the canyon, and it looks like this. I'm in the lead with the mixer truck. So Dave is behind me in a 5-ton with all the water. Jax is in my 550, and then we got Alec and Davis and those guys on the Polaris machines, and then Hans in my motorhome, my brand new motorhome, getting ready to go up this gnarly dirt road. That's probably the biggest risk that we've taken throughout all this, is driving that RV up this canyon. Because one thing you don't realize about motorhomes like that is they have a lot of tail swing. So when you turn, since the rear axle is so far forward, this section of the RV, the back part, as you turn, just swings everywhere. Sharp turns, a lot of tail swing, and cliff edges lead to some nerve-wracking moments.
But you know who the MVP was? The MVP was Hans.
So the good news is we make it to the top, no issues. The 1 5-ton got a little bit hot. You pulled over, just let it cool down.
But he was too quick.
I mean, it was like this big 550 was tight in a few spots. You're like,
yeah.
Poor old
I think my guys rubbing tires on each side. And he's got what $250,000 rig he's driving up here.
Jeez. Yeah. How hot did this get?
230.
Yeah.
Right at the end, it was sitting right at about 215, and then it jumped up right here on this turn.
Does the fan run on it all the time? Does it have a heater in it?
Does it have a heater?
Yeah.
I don't want to know.
Oh, turn the heater on coming up the hill.
You know what? I don't know if they have heaters. Yeah, they don't have heaters.
It'll really help.
Cement truck made it perfectly. No issues, no overheating. Everything else made it up, no problem. So this is a huge win. Like a huge win for us, because a broken down vehicle on this canyon road is a full day event.
Yeah, because it shuts the line. It's a 1 lane.
Yeah. All right, guys. There you have it. We got our trucks and equipment to the top of Cerro Gordo after a long full day, 2 days, 3 days, month of trucking. And now that everything's all situated, once the concrete starts arriving, we'll be able to start shuttling stuff up and down the canyon and getting ready to pour these foundation footings. So there you have it, guys. We're not going to do that in this video. Obviously, we're going to save that for part 3 once we start logistically moving stuff around. So guys, hope you enjoyed. This was a wild ride for all of us. Also, I want you to drop in the comments below if you think Jax and Dave would be a cute couple, or you don't think they would. Like, how long would they work out? 6 months, 12 months, a lifetime?
I'll make it work.
Just put it in the comments below. Let me know what you think.
That's why Heavy D and I have been together so long, because I'm so good at keeping a relationship together.
He is
so selfless.
He is the concrete that holds our relationship together.
The cement that keeps us glued together.
I'm tired.